Are you ready for a real treat? This week we are making a maple pesto wild salmon brulee. Fabulous, easy, and definitely something you're going to want to keep on your everyday menu. You're going to take your good quality fish and put in some nice slices. Go down deep, but not quite right through. Open it up just a little bit because we are going to infuse some pesto in there. So you'll see we've got a few cuts going in. If you can go with the grade of the fish, that makes it a little bit easier. These are about 3.5 ounces. I'm going to suggest maybe 3 to 6 ounces, if you like. So in goes a little pesto. You may put a little olive oil too, but my pesto here is, one, it's a little salty, so you want to be aware of that, and it's quite oily. So I'm going to put some of that on each of these. Get in the kitchen and use your hands. It's known as the chef's best tools, your hands. So we will smear this on and cover every bite of that fish because we are looking to infuse this with lots of flavor. That's what makes food so much fun. You make sure there's lots of flavor in there. That it happens to be nutrient dense is just a bonus. And now we want to add in a little bit of Dijon mustard. Some Dijon a little spicier than others. So again, you want to make sure you taste it first and put on what might appease your palate. I'm going for a little spicier because I love it. And right now this fish is to please my palate. You need to adjust it yourself if you like. So that's nicely spread all over. Let me clean my hands up. And we're actually going to hold off on the salt, but I will put a little bit of pepper on, a little bit of black pepper. You can use fresh ground black pepper, that's perfect. And then comes what makes this a little bit extra special. We're going to put a little drizzle of maple syrup on. And we have this wonderful maple syrup dispenser. You can drizzle it on with a spoon, but I will put a little bit on. We've got a nice slow drizzle of a Canadian maple syrup. But you'll find all kinds of maple syrups in the stores. That's on. And a tiny bit of sugar. If you can get a good quality coconut sugar or an organic cane sugar, I'm going to suggest that. If you just have white sugar at home, go for it. You're not putting a lot on. We sprinkle a touch on. This is what will give us that brulee once this is broiled in the oven. Not a lot, just a little per portion. And this is ready to go in the oven. So we're going to put that in on a high temperature, let it cook for maybe 6 to 8 minutes. It does vary depending on the thickness of your fish. You're better off to undercook and add a little more heat time onto it if you need. Don't overdo it. Nobody likes overdone fish. So this goes to the oven and then we will be right back to plate it. Right now we're prepping some spinach. I'm going to put a little sea salt on this, and it may look like a lot of spinach, but once it's heated in the oven, it cooks down quite significantly. And we'll set that aside. That's going to go into the oven the last couple minutes of the salmon's cooking. And then we're going to do something really fun here. We're going to take some of the basil leaves, which are part of the garnish, and you want to nestle them into one another, and then roll them up, and take a good sharp knife, and slice them into tiny little chiffonades, or tiny little slivers if you prefer. And this will go on top of our salmon to complement the pesto and infuse a little more flavor as well as nutrients, because the essential oils that are in these green leaves are fabulous for us. So we will have that for the salmon once we garnish. Take a look at our spinach now. This has been in the oven for maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Ideally, I'd have it on a baking sheet, but this is what we were working with today. This will go on your plate. And it's a wonderful way to get yourself a big dose of vitamins, vitamin C, lots of protein in spinach. We're going to top it up with a little bit of lemon juice. A little squeeze. A little squeeze of lemon. Maybe without the seeds. We'll just pull those out. And then we're going to top our salmon over this. A little bit of pepper. It's one of my favorite friends in the kitchen. To go over the spinach as well as your fish. Serve it with some lemon wedges on the side as you see here. A little bit of our basil chiffonade or fritisi. plate to be pretty too. So garnish it all up. And if you like a little extra heat, a touch of cayenne pepper really counters the sweetness as well. There is a bit of heat in that Dijon as mentioned, but not all Dijon is hot, so just a tiny sprinkle. And voila, you have this amazing maple pesto salmon brulee. I know you're gonna love it, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again.